From Hollywood, here's the game where knowledge is king and Lady Luck is queen. It's the Joker's Wild. And now, here's the host of the show, Jack Barry.
Thank you very much. And a most cordial welcome once again to the Joker's Wild. Those of you who have been watching the Joker's Wild for the past couple of weeks have seen a rather extraordinary thing happen. Never happened before on our program, as a matter of fact. One gentleman has won more money than anybody in the history of this program. This was happy news for all of us, including the gentleman whom you'll meet in just a moment. But it also presented a couple of problems, because, as most of you know who watch television, network shows have a limit, the amount of money that contestants can win. Well, we used to be a network show, but currently we're not a network show. At the same time, we're on some network stations. And so we've been in constant dialogue, as has the contestant, with what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. We finally have reached a decision, or at least the decision has been made for us, and we'll give you that decision in just a moment. So, Charlie O'Donnell, would you introduce our current and top champion?
Our champion, whose winnings in cash and prizes total $66,200, is the biggest winner in the history of the Joker's Wild. He's a clinical psychologist who enjoys reading, running, and traveling, Joe Dunn.
Joe, welcome back to the Joker's Wild.
Thank you, Jack.
Let me recap what you have been able to accomplish here on the Joker's Wild. You have appeared thus far on 9 shows. I think that's a record. You've played in 16 games against 16 opponents. I think that's a record. You won 3 cars. I'm not sure if that's a record. I think maybe somebody else did. But you were asked in these past 9 shows 66 questions. You answered 59 of them, and you missed only 7. And, of course, you're winning a great deal of money and prizes. I think you deserve one terrific round of applause. And as you know, backstage has been a continuing dialogue between us and the networks as to what we do about this situation, because we're neither fish nor fowl, and you are a very special person here on the Joker's Wild. As Charlie said when he introduced you, with the exception of the tournament winners, and that's very important. We've had some tournament winners who won a lot more. Joe has won more cash and prizes than any other player in the history of the show, and that's truly an amazing accomplishment. Now, as you know, Joe, as we've explained to you, as you know full well, there is this amount that they can win on network shows, and we have an amount that you can win on our show. Well, for the past couple of seasons, the Joker's Wild has been broadcast on some network stations, and so this show is subject to those rules and regulations as set by whatever network we're on. Now, up to this point, the limit for this show had been $35,000, and you knew that when we got to that point, and we told you about it, and we didn't know just what to do, so we have been talking to the network and asking them to raise the limit. And I'm happy to say, for your sake and for ours, we didn't know what the new limit would be, Joe, but you agreed to keep on playing beyond the $35,000 limit, with the understanding that if you won anything beyond that new limit, that you'd donate it to a charity designated by you, correct?
That's true.
Well, happily for you, the network has upped the limit, not as far as maybe you would have liked or I would have liked, but I think very, very fairly. They've upped the limit so that you can take home for yourself $50,000, okay? Now, that's up considerably from the $35,000. Now, you're going to keep that $50,000. That's yours. And there is a remaining $16,200, which you went over, and we knew you were going to go over. And you said you would donate it to your favorite charity. So, Joe, at this point, some charity is going to become very, very happy. They're going to get $16,200 in cash and prizes. Even I do not know. What charity are you going to donate it to?
Well, after discussing it with my colleagues at the hospital, we've decided that the United Cerebral Palsy would be a worthwhile charity to donate.
That's terrific. They will be delighted, and I think that's a marvelous gesture on your part. Joe, so you do become the first person on our program in all the years and years and years that we've been on television. You become the very first person to retire from the Joker's Wild as an undefeated champion. What can you? You've said so many times that everybody treats you nicely, but what are your deep down emotions at this point, Joe?
this may sound really hokey, but I grew up in Oklahoma, and I can remember sitting in front of the TV watching all the time I was growing up, never thinking that I would ever be really able to do this. So it's seemed real unreal so far until I see myself on TV, perhaps. So all I can say is I really appreciate the support everybody at the hospital has given me, everybody here, and I'm really happy and pleased to be ending this way.
Well, you ended on a high note. Now, you may be back sometime if we have one of our tournaments, which we have periodically. We always bring back the top winners. No doubt that you will be there because you are the very, very top winner we've ever had. I am delighted to say that you leave our program undefeated champion, and for yourself, you take home with you in cash and prizes, with our best wishes and total congratulations, $50,000. Good luck, Joe. We'll be back with two new players in just a moment.
It's one day, one dose. Virtually everyone who applies.
And so with memories of Joe Dunn ringing in our ears, we proceed with our Joker's Wild. Now, as all of you know full well who've been watching this show 8, 10, 12 years, however long we've been on, we always have a champion because somebody wins and then that champion stays on and plays the next player. But we don't have any champion now. Our champion is gone, retired, undefeated from the program. So what we did is backstage for the next two players, flip the coin. And the person who won becomes the champion, just kind of because we have no other way to do it. So, Charlie O'Donnell, would you introduce the new champion and the challenger?
She's a homemaker and former singing waitress who enjoys swimming, painting, and opera, Natalia Monjoy. And her opponent, he's a production coordinator for trade shows, and his hobbies are camping and skydiving, Joseph Hudgens.
Nice to have you both with us here on the program. And Natalie, how does it feel to be a champion even though you didn't do anything yet?
Fantastic.
It's easy this way, isn't it?
I feel that it's where I should stay, you know.
Well, you will. All you have to do is win the game and you'll stay there. And if not, Joseph become the new champion. Joseph, you've been introduced to someone who does skydiving. I flew my own little plane for years and years as a hobby, but I'm always surprised that people can enjoy skydiving. You really enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. Jack, it's the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
I wouldn't touch that answer with a 10-foot pole. What is the best part of skydiving for you, Joe?
Well, the free fall is really exhilarating, but there is absolutely nothing to compare with the sense of security you get when you look up and you see that fully opened and perfectly deployed canopy over your head.
You feel secure when you do that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You're the only person I ever knew who jumped out of a plane to feel secure. That must be a whole new feeling. Well, players, you are in the shadow of a man who really has been remarkable. And Natalie, you were here before. You didn't get a chance to play because we had to go through all this business with Joe. But we're nice to have you back. And now let's see who the new champion will be playing with these categories. They are the Presidents, followed by Disney. Then we have Where Am I? Want Ads, Mountains, and those are the categories. Because you are the champion, Natalie, you go first. Joe, the challenger always goes first. So, Joe, you give him a spin and good luck.
Okay, I'd like some jokers, please.
Mountain, Joker, and Where Am I?
I'd like Where Am I for 100.
It's 15:13, and I'm at a place called Charlotte Harbor when a tired, old-looking Ponce de Leon wades ashore and asks me directions to the nearest fountain. In which state am I?
Florida.
Yes, future state. Of course, you have $100. Okay, Natalie, as the champion, you go second. Give him a spin. Where am I? Mountains and Disney.
I'll take Disney for 50, Jack.
Disney's Mickey Mouse had a silly canine friend named Goofy, as well as a pet pooch of his own. Name Mickey Mouse's marvelous mutt.
Pluto.
Right, you have $50. Incidentally, I've been calling you Natalie. It's actually Natalia, isn't it?
That's right, it is.
Okay. All right, your spin, Joe.
Okay.
Mountains, Disney, and a Joker.
Jack, I would like Disney for 100.
One of Disney's most creative cartoons, Teen Mickey Mouse and Leopold Stokowski. Mickey starred as the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and Stokowski conducted the music. Name that film.
That was Fantasia.
Right, and a fantastic film, too. You have $200. Natalia. Joker, Joker! I am tempted to say done like a true champion, except that you're not a true champion. But now you could become by picking one category, answering a question that would legitimately make you the champion.
I'll take Disney.
Okay, correct answer brings you to $500, wins you the game. Listen to this scene from a Disney film. Tinkerbell sprinkles 3 children with pixie dust, and they take off to the second star to the right and straight on until morning. For $500 and the championship, name the film.
Peter Pan.
You win and you are the champion. Congratulations, Natalie. That makes you officially the champion. You do have $500, and we'll give you a chance to play against the devil in just a moment. Joe, sorry we couldn't make you the champion as well. You played like a champion, but backstage will be some nice consolation prizes. A nice